Hello again. So the most important bit of kit you can use in bushcraft is the knife. This is mine. Pretty standard bushcraft knife. Very, very important tool. Can be used for an infinite number of jobs. Shelter building, making clothing, food preparation, a whole host of different jobs. But you're obviously not going to carry that with you all the time when you're out. You have to obviously be careful with these kind of things. There are laws in terms governing when and where you can use them. But what if you were out and you didn't have a knife? What would you do then? What did they do a long time ago? So they would have used stone cutting tools. And being in Norfolk, they would have used this. Flint. This is amazing stuff. It is super sharp and it's super strong, and it can be used for making axes, knives, arrowheads, spearheads, you know, a whole range of stuff. A word of warning, flint is really sharp. Once it's been napped, once you get a flake off there, it is really deadly sharp. So be very, very careful, okay? If you're sensible, it's okay, it's safe, but you know, do be careful. So in that state, a block of that, it's not going to be very useful to you. So what you need to do, you need to hammer off a flake of that using a pebble, a quartzite pebble. And you're simply going to knock a piece of this flint off. Okay, so just hold it in your hand. Get your fingers underneath, again just being careful, this stuff is very sharp, and you're just going to knock, you're going to hammer a bit of this flint off. Okay, there we go. That, very crude, very simple, but that is a usable blade. It's got a really good edge on there, quite rough there, but still usable. So that, you could cut your food up with that. You could cut cordage with that. You could, if you wanted to make some clothing, you could scrape the hide with that. Okay, that's a usable blade. You can keep that. Eventually it will go dull and you would just have to nap another piece of flint. Again, just be very, very careful. That is very, very sharp. Okay, just watch what you're doing with it. There you go. That is a usable blade. If you wanted to, you could set that into a handle. I've done that with this one. So that's, again, just a little bit of flint set into a wooden handle with a natural glue that I made. That glue is simply made from rawhide, so animal skin. You just boil that down. The skin, the rawhide will just disintegrate and will turn into a very sticky liquid. And I've just mixed that with some slate dust and made a very strong glue. It's almost like an epoxy resin. Okay, so again, set into a handle. You can use that for cutting food, skinning, you know, if you wanted to make some clothing. The other material that you can use is slate. Now, slate would have been used in the Arctic Circle up until relatively recently, because they didn't have slate, they didn't have flint up there, and they didn't really have access to metal. Maybe occasionally they might have had some iron from a meteorite, but generally speaking they would have used slate. If you can get a flake of slate, you can simply grind it down. It's quite soft, you can grind it down on a harder rock, which is what I've done with this one. Again, creating a little bladed tool set into a piece of bone. Again, I've used this for cutting up food. This one is one that I've spent a bit more time on. Okay, again, it's a slate bladed knife set into a piece of ash, and I've just put some wooden pegs through there to hold it in place. if you get a good enough edge on that, again I've used that in the kitchen to prepare food. You can't chop with these because of the nature of slate, it's quite soft, but you can slice, it will slice quite nicely. And again, they would have used these in the Arctic Circle for preparing food, even for cutting hair. So there you go, two very simple, very basic blades, but very usable. Again, be very careful with this, especially when you're napping it. It is very sharp and you know, prone to slight cuts, but if you're out and you want something very simple to use, there you have it. Thank you for watching. Take care. Until next time. Goodbye.